Hello everyone, we are continuing class 11 chemistry, chapter 4 chemical bonding and molecular structure. Under that, in this video, we will be doing electron dot diagram for a few polyatomic ions. I am Anandavalli. I welcome you all to this new video from Guidance Education channel. Before we start, please watch the video completely so that you get all points cleared, and if you think the video is useful, do like the video, share the video with your friends, and also leave your feedbacks as comments in the comment box below. If you have not subscribed my channel, do subscribe it now and support me. Press the bell button and all button near it so that you get intimated as soon as new videos are posted. Thank you very much. Come, let us start. We will see how to draw one polyatomic anion and one polyatomic cation. First example, electron dot diagram for carbonate ion, CO3 2 minus. There is one carbon atom and 3 oxygen atoms, and when they combine, there are 2 electrons more, so they get 2 negative charge. Now let us see what are the steps that we have to follow. Step number 1. Find the total number of electrons present in the valence shell of all the atoms present in the anion. For the carbon atom, there are 4 valence electrons. For each oxygen atom, there are 6 electrons. So, for all the 3 oxygen atoms together, there are 3 into 6, 18 electrons. Then there are 2 negative charges. 2 negative charges means there are 2 electrons more. So, the total comes to 24 electrons. So, when we depict the electron dot diagram of carbonate ion, we have to show 24 electrons. What is the next thing that we have to decide? We have to decide which is the central atom. What is the procedure? The central atom is that atom which has least electronegativity. Here, carbon has least electronegativity. So, carbon is the central atom. So, we will first represent the carbon atom with 4 valence electrons. Then, we will show the first oxygen atom with 6 valence electrons shown in red color. Then the second oxygen atom also with 6 valence electrons also shown in red color. Then the last and the third oxygen atom also with 6 valence electrons shown in red color. Before we show the bonding, that is the overlapping of the valence shells, check the number of electrons that we have to show. We have to show 24 electrons. For the carbon atom, there are 8 electrons. For the oxygen atom on the left hand side, there are 8 electrons. But for the other 2 oxygen atoms, there are only 7 valence electrons. So, we have to add up one more electron in those oxygen atoms. If you have any difficulty in understanding this, I will explain. This is an ion. Consider an ionic compound molecule with carbonate ion in it. Say for example, sodium carbonate. Its formula is Na2CO3. There are 2 sodium atoms and 1 carbonate group in it. We have seen that the 2 oxygen atoms in carbonate ion requires 1 electron each in order to complete octet. And we know the sodium atom has to lose 1 electron each so that it acquires 8 electrons, that is octet structure in its valence shell. So, each sodium atom donates 1 electron each to these 2 oxygen atoms in the carbonate ion. Now, what is the total number of electrons that are shown? There are altogether 24 electrons. Now, let us show the overlapping. This is the valence shell of carbon atom. the 4 black dots represent the 4 valence electrons of carbon atom. The valence shell of the 3 oxygen atoms also overlap the valence shell of carbon atom. Now let us check up whether 24 electrons are shown correctly. For the oxygen atom on the left hand side, there are 8 electrons, including the electron of carbon atom. Similarly, for the other 2 oxygen atoms also, there are 8 electrons, including the valence electrons of carbon and the extra electrons which are shown in white color. And the carbon atom also has 8 electrons. So there are 24 electrons. So when we take up all the electrons together, we get the number 24. So we have shown 24 electrons correct. So we have shown the bond formation for the carbonate ion. For these 2 oxygen atoms, you find that though the atomic number is 8, there are 9 electrons. There are 7 electrons in the outermost shell and 2 electrons in the inner shell. So that makes it 9. So each of these oxygen atoms have 1 electron more. That means these 2 oxygen atoms develop 1 negative charge. How is it represented now? Ion is represented like this. It has 2 negative charges. Carbon double bond oxygen. There are 2 bonds and there are 2 lone pairs. Then the next oxygen atom is bonded to the carbon atom by a single bond and it has 3 lone pairs. Similarly, the third oxygen atom also is bonded to carbon atom by a single bond with 3 lone pairs. The whole ion bears 2 negative charges. This is a polyatomic anion. Anion is an ion with negative charge. Now let us see one positive polyatomic ion, that is polyatomic cation, ammonium ion. Ammonia is NH3. It is a molecule. It has no charge. Here it is an ion. It has 1 positive charge. What is the meaning of 1 positive charge? 1 positive charge on it tells us that it has 1 electron less. When we consider the total number of electrons, it is deficient in 1 electron. So when we follow the first step, that is calculating the number of electrons that we have to show. Ammonium ion contains 1 nitrogen atom and 4 hydrogen atom. For the nitrogen atom, there are 5 electrons. For each hydrogen atom, there is 1 electron. So altogether 4 electrons. So 5 plus 4 becomes 9. But there is 1 positive charge. That means 1 electron is less. That electron is less in hydrogen atom. So instead of 9 electron, it has only 8 electrons. So when we finish representing this polyatomic cation, we should show only 8 electrons. So let us see how it is represented. Again, which is the central atom? The central atom is that atom with less electronegativity among the atoms considered. Nitrogen has less electronegativity when compared with hydrogen. So nitrogen is the central atom. So we will first show nitrogen with 5 valence electrons. Now the hydrogen atoms. 3 of the hydrogen atoms have 1 electrons each for them, that is shown in blue color. But 1 hydrogen atom does not have an electron of its own. That hydrogen atom which has no electron of its own will bear a positive charge. It is held in a bond with nitrogen atom by 2 electrons of nitrogen atom. Both the electrons participating in the bond between that hydrogen atom and nitrogen atom belongs to the nitrogen atom. So when we count the number of electrons, there are only 8. Now we will show the overlapping. This is the valence shell of nitrogen and valence shell of the hydrogen atoms overlap this nitrogen atom, first one, second one, third one and fourth one. So actually when we consider the nitrogen atom and the 4 hydrogen atoms, there should be in all 9 electrons. But here when we check up, we find only 8 electrons. 1 electron is missing. This hydrogen atom on the right hand side does not have an electron of its own. So, this hydrogen atom bears a positive charge. This bond is formed by 2 electrons of nitrogen atom. Normally we know when one covalent bond is formed, the bond should contain 2 electrons and 1 electron will belong to one atom and the other electron will belong to the other atom. But in this case, we find that both electrons belong to the nitrogen atom. I hope it is clear. Now, how is it represented? This is the electron dot diagram for the bond formation. How is the ion represented? There are no lone pairs here. It is represented like this: nitrogen in the center and nitrogen forms single bond with all the 4 hydrogen atoms, and the whole thing bears one positive charge because one electron is less. If you think the video is useful, do like the video, share the video with your friends and also leave your feedbacks as comments in the comment box below. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, do subscribe it now and support me. Press the bell button and all button for notification of more videos like this. Thank you very much. We will meet in the next video with another important topic like this. Till then, bye. Take care.